Republicans in Congress refused to fund a wall, so the president announced today that he plans to send the military to guard America's border with Mexico. The announcement was sparked by a convoy of more than 1,000 Central Americans that has been making its way through Mexico toward this country. Mexico's government claimed on Monday to have broken up the convoy and deported 400 people in it. But the people who are actually running that convoy say otherwise. One of them told BuzzFeed, quote, "Don't be fooled. The government isn't disbanding it. It's conceding its participants' right to apply for asylum without traveling in the shadows." Either way, we have no reason to trust the good intentions of the Mexican government. In 2017, the Mexican Foreign Ministry published a video encouraging Mexican citizens to break American immigration law. It advised them not to open their doors to federal authority. It told them to hide the fact they're there illegally. And it was not the first time the Mexican government has done this. In 2004, the government printed and distributed more than 1.5 million pamphlets telling Mexicans how to enter this country illegally and live here without being detained. It even had tips on what clothes to wear while crossing a river, presumably the Rio Grande. Recently, Mexico filed an amicus brief protesting Texas's anti-sanctuary city bill. The Mexican foreign minister has called for illegal aliens in this country to receive legal status and has denounced the border wall as, quote, a hostile act. Hostile? Mexico is the hostile power here. Just today, former Mexican President Vicente Fox tweeted that Donald Trump is, quote, enemy number one of Mexico. He then retweeted someone else who suggested that if a dispute does happen, Trump will, quote, probably give back the state of California. The implication, of course, is that Mexico really owns California. In a 2017 poll, 65% of Mexicans said they viewed the United States unfavorably. 42% viewed America very unfavorably. None of this should be confusing or a surprise. Rather than fix its own problems, which are serious, the Mexican government instead imports them north to this country. It gets angry if we even hinder that process in any way. Mexico is, in fact, using the United States as an outlet for its poor. It's using our government as its welfare system. Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein said that out loud back in 1993. She wouldn't say it today, but it's still true. Mexicans in this country sent home more than $26 billion in the first 11 months of 2017, the highest amount ever. Remittances are one of that country's biggest sources of foreign cash, bigger even than oil exports, and that's saying a lot. The Mexican government is a corrupt kleptocracy whose economy is based on oil, drugs, and remittances sent from its functional northern neighbor. That would be us. It's one of the most unequal and racially biased countries in the world. And yet somehow our mindless, guilt-ridden media say it is racist to criticize the government of Mexico, which, again, is a racist government, run, by the way, by an overwhelmingly white elite that went to American Ivy League schools. This is insane. Mexico isn't sacred. It's a country, good and bad. But for the purposes of this conversation, it is a hostile foreign power whose interests are very different from ours, and we should treat it as such because it is.